about what Google does, Google indexes the whole web, and that's how you drive a lot of organic traffic when you're searching for things. The problem with apps to this date is it's a bit of a walled garden, so there's a lot of data in there that people can't access. So if you index your app, it's actually becomes searchable by Google, and therefore search results will actually return app pages towards the top, which means you can start driving organic traffic either to the install, or if you have people that have the app already, then they'll go to it.
Is it important then to have the deep linking connected then?
Yes, because basically deep linking gives you thinking about URL structure to your app. So thinking very much about it instead of just like one kind of black box, you're thinking about it, oh, these are kind of content pages, these are potentially product pages. Or
how do you do deep linking without Branch?
Well, depending on your development team, so thinking about the structure of your app, but then Branch makes it easy to create those smart links.
So how do you do app indexing then, please?
So app indexing can be used by something like Branch, which is effectively indexing all of the content. So it's making your app searchable, effectively, so making it available to Google.
So if you don't,
and Branch does it for you effectively.
Yeah. So Branch does a number of different things, which is taking the content that you have and trying to make it more searchable, because they're trying to drive organic downloads. Mm-hmm. And they effectively, I think long-term vision is becoming the search of app data.
Right.
So if you don't use Branch for deep linking, or you don't have any other kind of deep linking provider, your app page would not be on Google, or?
No, so most of the app data isn't available, but if you're thinking about searching, it doesn't really bring up what's within apps because they're not searchable, so you have to make your app searchable effectively.
Wouldn't it be on like the iTunes page? Would that come up as a search result?
So this is a little bit more layered. So in a search for your app, it will find the app itself, but the idea is you're wanting to make all the content within your app searchable.
Okay.
So if you're searching for a particular piece of content, then someone looking for that content can find it.
Okay.
Can I ask another question? How do you rank in app packs?
How do I?
How do you rank in app packs?
I don't actually know what that is.
So an app pack is when you're like halfway down the Google search on your phone, and you'll see like tiles where you've got the name of the app and the star rating.
I don't know. That's not a product that I know.
It's an organic thing. I've just seen that. Yeah, I've just seen it. I'll maybe
We'll have to add it to the list.
Yeah, and then tell me how to do it.
Yeah. And then the last one is deep content. So this was actually something new, so I was doing a bit of research, and it's effectively a product where you've indexed your what's within your app, so it's kind of a close synergy between what you have on the web and what you have in your app. So if someone comes to the web, it shows you in a slightly more like native format what that product is, and then there's a button to try and get it in the app, and then it'll be a deferred deep link within the app. So if you're thinking about trying to get organic traffic, it's important that you get these things right, because it makes a big difference to your conversion. So these are things which shouldn't be that hard to put in, but a lot of people don't think about it.
So just to clarify, Smart Magnets, app indexing, and deep content, that's all available through Branch?
Yeah, so check out the Branch website, because they have some really interesting products.
And how expensive? What's the price?
I think it's free. So they're trying to bring together all the content, so they offer the free products, but they index all of the data. So this is the last one that have one organic, which is quite simply build great apps. Because if you build a great app, then you have a good chance of getting featured by Apple. And getting featured by Apple is a great kickstart to whatever it is you're trying to do. So you always have early adopters. So there's a diminishing return to getting featured, because you have a whole set of early adopters that will download a lot of new apps the first time. And then if you're featured the second or third time, then obviously that declines because they've already seen it. But if you build great apps, you will be rewarded. There's a limited amount of great apps within the App Store, and Apple notices if you build something. And I would add on top of building great apps, which is building features that Apple are passionate about. So Apple release new features like Apple Pay, they have this thing called app thinning, which isn't as exciting, or they have iMessage apps. And that's kind of what this screenshot is on the right, which is iMessage apps. So it's kind of an add-on to your iPhone app. But the idea is that Apple are always looking for people that are trying new things that they want people to use. So if you have something that you think might be useful to you, that Apple has launched, I would try and build that into it because they're always looking for good examples. So this is a good way of getting featured if potentially you don't feel like apps going to get featured on potentially its own merit. So these are things that people lose sight of quite a lot. Building that great app, getting that relationship with Apple, yeah.
So with the iMessage apps, if you have an app which has like a chat function, for example,
Yeah.
instead of having that natively in your app, it makes sense to use iMessage apps in the app in an attempt to get featured by Apple. Is that something you can do? Or?
So it's more if it's in line with it. So if you look at the iMessage app, it hasn't really been that widely adopted, but it was just an example of different things that they get passionate about. And I went on the App Store yesterday, and that was something that featured people were doing.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say that that's the right way of getting it, but just if you read what they announced, so it was WWDC a few weeks ago, see what they've put out there. And you need to think, I wouldn't build features for the sake of it that aren't going to do you any good, but if you think it's in line with what you need to do, then I would go there early. So for us, Apple Pay worked really well. So we were one of the first people to do it in the UK. So we were featured by Apple a lot. We were part of an Instagram campaign that they did about Apple Pay. So it's quite aligned with what they wanted, what we needed.
Maybe I can add something like we were, sorry, who was the question from? Yeah, so we were also featured by Apple, and for us, the point was the development of our iMessage app. Yeah, so they said that was like the decision, the thing that made us.
And that was like a chat function within the wider app.
Yeah, also, yeah, but mostly the iMessage extension. We were one of the first to use it, and that was one of the reasons they jumped aboard immediately.
Okay.
So
And when did you release? When did you get featured?
Last January.
Okay.
So
Cool.
well,
Congratulations.
yeah.
Yep, we have 2 questions.
I have a question. So do you have to just wait to get discovered, or can you apply to get featured, for instance?
You have to do something. Once you get on radar, then it kind of becomes easier.
Yeah.
So they're quite secretive about the way that they do things.
Yeah.
So if you're on radar, they generally will kind of reach out to you if you build something that they like. And once you kind of build up that kind of relationship, it becomes a little bit easier.
Is there someone you can connect with on LinkedIn and kind of nudge?
No.
By the way, it's
No, I mean, you can try and find that. But yeah, like I say, there's no real great way around it apart from building something that's great that they like. And obviously they very much focus on design and interaction. So it helps having passionate designers and developers that like building great products. And I think that's one of the most important things. Was there one more question on that? Was that? Yeah.
Why is it that the App Store is so crucial and the Play Store not at all?
It's kind of crucial in this presentation because we've been more focused on iOS. But towards the end of the presentation, I'm going to talk a lot more about Google because for us it's becoming more and more important. It's just, I think it's the way that we think about things in this country. So we were talking with a brand, like 84% of the traffic was on iOS. So iOS was very much part of their thinking. We're talking with a brand in Germany, 70% of the traffic was on Android. But to date in the UK, and this is a massive generalization, so maybe we can edit it out, the iOS apps tend to be a lot better. A lot more creativity goes into the iOS app, and you tend to find Android apps seem to be an afterthought and trying to replicate some of the functionality on Android. And for us, when we're trying to build good apps, Android's quite difficult because you think of all the different screen sizes, like what people might be using it on, whereas iOS is a lot more limited. So we prefer developing on iOS, but now we're very bullish and excited about Android, and I'll tell you why. Does that answer that question? But we're biased, so. So this is just a quick chat about scaling paid growth. I could go on about it for a while, but I'm going to try and keep it to a short amount of time. How are we doing for time?
35. We're running out of time.
Oh, running out of time. Okay, so I'll whip through this. So target users where they're spending their time. So you'll hear about people doing a great campaign on Google, a great campaign on Facebook. For me, it's about thinking what is the target user, where are they going to be, and how are they going to interact with your product. And also think a lot about mobile. Because people don't. So if it's a mobile app, you want people to see the app on mobile. They're going to, all the funnels are going to be on mobile, and a lot of the time people aren't thinking about that. So if you're doing a campaign on Facebook, make sure that it's targeted only at mobile users. So these are some things that people don't always think about because it seems fairly obvious, but it's so obvious that people don't think about it. And then a couple of golden rules designed really badly, but for me, understanding your business model. This was not something that I appreciated enough before we launched an app, and it grew really, really fast. If you are going to go for paid growth, make sure your long-term value, is everyone familiar with that term? So effectively, the value the user is going to bring is going to be higher than your cost of acquisition. And it doesn't have to be day one. I think people are looking for a return within the first 30 to 90 days. But a lot of business plans for the long-term value are hypothetical, which is within 12 months we're going to bring it back to what we got, and especially a lot of affiliate businesses. But if you don't have this that's really, really concrete, I wouldn't go beyond the testing phase until you work this out, because you're going to spend a lot of money, not get the value that you need, and then you're going to need more money to keep growing that user base. Think about new platforms which are less saturated. So in recent years, we've gone from Facebook, Instagram is probably the new platform, and Snapchat is obviously just opening up to advertisers. So wherever you go into a new platform, it's less saturated with advertisers who start to bid up, and also it's time of year. So ads on Facebook around Christmas can be 4 times more expensive than they are for the rest of the year, just because you're competing with companies that are trying to sell products at that point. New ad formats perform well. So Facebook just launched a new ad product called Collections. I don't know if anyone's seen it, which is a video with products underneath it that you can click through, and that's performing really well. So A, it's not saturated, and B, when something's quite new, it tends to perform well. So if you can get yourself onto testing programs for new items, or you're keeping up to date with the new types of ad products that are being launched on like Facebook and Instagram, I'd try those, because as a company that can make a big difference. I would test consistently to create new hypotheses. So one of the things we learned from Graham Ramble is that real world photography is a lot more powerful than stock photography. So we learned that by doing a lot of advertising campaigns. So that hypothesis became part of our the way that we did our marketing. And what I would say is I would make sure that I test a lot. And a lot of big companies suffer from the idea that they will go through marketing campaigns with the right content. So it means that you decide up front what your branding campaign is and you run adverts around it. I think if you have to be really, really effective at paid advertising, it means that the best idea is the one that works the best, which means that you're testing a lot of different campaigns, and the ones that work the best are the ones that you're going forward with. And that could be testing 50 to 100 at a time to see what works. And I would say don't rush to outsource this to an agency, because they're not going to be as effective as you are, because they don't have the same incentives to get the costs down. They might be good, but they're not going to be as good as you are with your products and the determination to kind of get it right. So when we were running advertising campaigns at peak, we were running 100 to work out what's going to work the best to have that one campaign per week. And the difference between the best and worst could be 10 to 20 times. So that's the kind of thing you're looking at.
So when you run the campaign, you spend a small amount of marketing dollars on each one,
yeah,
and then see which one performs the best with the type of audience, then you just plow out the rest of the
yeah. So you start with 100, then you might turn off 50 after the first night, and then you kind of work your way. So you have a rule, if it's over a certain amount, it's never going to work. Turn it off. And then as things start to scale, turn off the ones which aren't working the best and put your budget behind the ones that are most effective. Ad relevancy will lead to lower costs. So if you're aiming, Facebook's got a ad relevancy score between 1 and 10. If you're at 1, you're definitely not doing it right. So you want to be as close to 10 as possible. And the idea is the more relevant the ad, the more they can show it, and the cheaper it is to get clicks. Also, don't expect your initial cost of acquisition to scale. So we talked a little bit about the App Store with early adopters. So you might run a £100 campaign and find that you're getting downloads for 20p. You're really excited, you put in your business model, I'm going to get 1 million like this, raise some money to get that, and then you find out that there's some early adopters out there that will kind of get on it fast, but once you go outside that first 1,000, it's really hard to replicate that cost, and I've kind of seen that quite a lot. And then be prepared to get stuck into a lot of data. Most people don't like data, but you have to look at it to kind of get this stuff right. And it's good to use tools to automate these process flows. So you want to be pulling in the data from Facebook and analyzing it quickly, and you can't do that manually all the time. So I think we use like Supermetrics, which is a spreadsheet tool. And if you use things like Zapier, you can start to automate some of these processes. So you want to pull the advertising data you get from Facebook into a spreadsheet, and you want to be able to almost like color code it by campaigns which are and aren't working. So without having to visually look at 100 campaigns to work out what is and isn't good.
So which tools are you mentioning? Supermetric?
I think we use a spreadsheet tool called Supermetrics, and it pulls in the Facebook data, and then we use sometimes things like Zapier more recently.
Zapier?
Yeah, so you can automate a few processes. Appreciate it. I'm going to run through this last bit. So the potential future which we're really excited about on Android is we don't like mobile web that much. I don't know if everyone else feels the same way. We love native apps, but they really struggle for distribution, which is probably why everyone's here for this talk. There's over 1 billion websites at the moment, but these are the amount of apps that people might have on their phone. So what is the answer to this? Did anyone see Google announce Google I/O Instant Apps? Anyone? One. A few people.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. So for us, Google announcing the intention to be able to stream apps. So the idea that you can have the quality of a native app without having to go through the Play Store is absolutely huge. So they announced it a few weeks ago. It's already out there for developers, so you can already start playing around with it. So for us, one of the biggest issues that we found with Modulo, with Gravel, with Popcorn, with any of the apps that we've launched, is that the distribution of the App Store is a real killer. So you might need 10p to get someone to the App Store, but then 10% of them will download the app, so it means your cost is 10 times as much as trying to drive traffic to a website. It can be absolutely killer to make economics work for your business. So we're really, really excited about the future. So if you're building apps in Android at the moment, I'd really think about this, because it is a complete game changer for the way that you're going to grow. So you just need to think about how quick the uptake is. So at the moment it's only on the latest operating system of Android, and therefore not lots of people have it. But if you're thinking about the future of your business on Android, I would read as much of this as possible, because for us it's a huge thing. And that's all of the information. I hope that was useful.
So usually we would be out of time for Q&A, as we've had an interactive session, but we can take perhaps just one last question.
How do you get considered for the awards then?
Just apply for as many as we could. Yeah. So some stuff people nominate you, and some stuff you just have to apply. If anyone has any questions after, this is my email address. So there's lots of this information in lots of different places. So I'd recommend the blogs for Amplitude and Branch. They're really effective on this. And as I say, we're out of time, but yeah, thank you for listening. I hope that was really, really useful.
I just want to say, yeah, just a massive round of applause for Joel again. I don't know about you, but I thought it was a really interesting talk, and I could go on with even more questions. But yeah, just shoot Joel an email, and he may be around for a little bit afterwards as well. So I also just, this is something that we give to our speakers, basically to thank them for coming here. So this is the book. It's Mobilized. You may find this interesting. It's by our founder, and it talks about basically making a great mobile product, and the things that go behind that. So I just wanted to give this to you and say thank you very much. No worries. Yes, that sort of concludes the formal presentation part of it. Before we wrap up, there's one thing we do at every Products That Count event, which is that we do shout-outs. So we just take like 2 to 5 minutes for this, and literally anyone who has something that they want to announce can come up on stage, and they may sort of get a little something for being courageous enough to do that. But yeah, like literally, it could be anything. So let me give an example. Yeah, so for instance, I want to announce that we have just launched our app today, and it's called Showcase, and we are going after this viral growth strategy. So we are really updating the app, but we would appreciate if you guys download it from the App Store and check it out, and refresh again this weekend, because there'll be more updates this weekend basically, and you can give us feedback as well. But yeah, it's called Showcase, like Showcase with a D. Yeah, so that's
what does it do?
Well, we were told that you should be able to describe your app in 3 words. So in 3 words, it's all about following your passion. And I'll leave it there. So yeah, if you search for it, you should find out more. Yeah, try it out. It's just caveat, it's like this page, and we're making more updates tonight, but you should definitely check it out. So that was like my shout out. So I think we have a couple moments here, so yeah, come on up.
Do you want me to come in?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Right. So I'm building a language learning app that's all about language learning through storytelling. It's launching in the alpha channel next week on Android. So if anyone's trying to learn Spanish or knows somebody trying to learn English, get in touch with me and I'll give you a link and some free codes.
I have something for you as well. So just for being courageous enough to come up, we have you get one of these Products That Count notepads, which is from our sponsor. So yeah. We had someone else who was keen before the notepads were announced, so come on up. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we developers and publisher based out of Cambridge. So we just released a new game recently. It's called Magic Mania on the Blue Panda apps on iOS. So happy to have your feedback. It's Magic Mania. And every year we do a famous advent calendar for Christmas. We feature the best 25 free apps. And it's successful apps because usually we get several million downloads. So if you are going to release in the next 10 months a great application, just let me know and we can maybe feature you on iOS and on Android for next December within our advent calendar. So the company is called App Chocolate. This is not chocolate, it's apps for the advent calendar.
So I'll look out for App Chocolate. This is for you as well. So yeah, thank you so much for coming up. No worries. We had 2 more shout outs. So yeah, go ahead. So you're ready. Come on up.
You're supposed to meet at 8:30. Hi guys, my name is Piyush and I'm doing my job over here. I'm a product marketing person from TransferWise. So we just launched a really cool service. It's called Borderless. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it. Thank you.
I love it.
You can take my diary right now. So what we do is that suppose you have a business in the UK and you want to open an account, a business account in the US. It's really troublesome. You have to go there, give your documents, be physically present. But Borderless allows you to open virtual accounts. Being in UK, you can open an account in US so that you can receive and send payments directly. So you can avoid all the international costs. Same from US to UK. So if you have any questions, just give a shout out to anyone from TransferWise. That's me over here.
This is for you as well for coming up. Thanks so much. And I would endorse Borderless. I think we opened a products.com account with them. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, there you go. Cool. So we have one last shout out. So come on up.
So I don't actually have a business, but I think I've been obviously very inspired by Joel today, and I think that I've been reading quite widely on various different texts and so on. So just I think a few books which have helped me so far is Hooked. I don't know how many of you have read Hooked.
Yeah.
And mobile app marketing is also pretty good. And $1 billion app, like My $1 Billion app, is pretty good as well. And obviously like a lot of great stuff to go. So I feel like this will definitely help me. And I think so my background is corporate finance, previously mergers and acquisitions, and I'm currently equity capital markets. So very much trying to jump the corporate ship, which seems to be kind of sinking at the moment, and cross over into entrepreneurship. So hopefully this will be the start of my journey and a free note.
Here you go. Yes, here's a notepad so you can take notes at the next one. All right. So thanks so much, everyone. That concludes our talk. 2 last shout outs. The first one is our next talk. So this is a monthly speaker series. So our next talk will be on the 12th of July by Paul Jackson. He's a former Times editor, and he's going to be talking about product strategy, so how to get people to use your product. So that's taking place on the 12th of July. If you signed up for this event, you may already be in our newsletter, but if not, just subscribe to our newsletter, go to products.count.com, and you will get updates about all future talks. So that's the announcement. And just to end up, so at every single one of our events, we like to get a Net Promoter Score, which we provide to the speaker afterwards to give them feedback on how the talk went. So you will probably get a link to this, so we'd really appreciate if you provide feedback on what you thought of the event so we can help make the next one even better. So thanks everyone, and see you in July.